Third best of 5 of the evening. We're on Cactus Valley and spawning to the top left-hand corner in purple, playing Protoss for Psystorm and the United States. It's Poizon. And to the bottom right, playing in red, Protoss for O-Gaming TV and France. It's Midastouch. Wondering why Poizon is playing Toss now. Probably just confusing her with someone else. Because we all know that Poizon has been playing Protoss forever. I don't know if she's ever actually played a different race. Like really, I mean not off-racing for like a game or two. Because she's actually done that throughout the real StarCraft Masters tournament. But, okay, seems as if Midastouch thought that Poizon would be Zerg for whatever reason. I mean, even on the FSL page, it shows the races. Protoss are so rare. Well, not in the FSL, they're not. So, we have a lot of Zergs and Protoss players. Actually, Terran players are pretty rare amongst female players. So, maybe you had a Z avatar. Oh yeah, I do on an A. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, so she was just thinking that her opponent might be Zerg because of the Zerg avatar. But yeah, Poizon has always played Protoss as long as I know her. So, and that's quite some time. So, like I said, maybe she's played around with other races here and there, but her main race has always been Protoss. And whenever she participates in tournament, she always plays Protoss as well. So, but after this one's cleared, now these two can just get at each other's throats, so to speak. Of course, only metaphorically and in-game. So, 2 gate opening for Poizon here. Only 1 gate opening for Midas, but the map is pretty large. Both players already know where their opponent is. We have a Stargate going down for Poizon. Probably for Oracle play. She likes to play an Oracle here or there. So Midas already has managed to find her opponent's, or she doesn't know that her opponent is over there, just wants to block a potential natural base for as long as possible. Also wants to know when it's going to get taken. In the meantime, she herself does not prepare to take a second base anytime soon. Gateway going down. It seems as if there's... Okay, no, that's Poizon's probe, so never mind. It will eventually get taken out, probably, because she's not paying attention. Now she does, but unfortunately too late. And the Mothership Core takes it out before she can get out. Another pylon in construction back here, and now it seems as if Midas just wants to get out and throw down her base with like 600 minerals in the bank. Base is out, but unfortunately this pylon is a little bit too late, so small supply block there for Midas, it seems. Might have played a little bit too much Dota lately with Funker and some other people maybe. So, in the meantime, we have Poizon's Adept arrive at Midas' base, but the Photon Overcharge gets baited out, and probably one Adept will die before it makes it outside the base. Oh no, actually it seems as if the other one has died also to this Pylon Overcharge here. So, eventually, Midas clears up everything, and now even has a big... army lead already, while Poizon is trying to take her own base right behind it. Stalker just moving out a little bit more to see if something more is headed her way. And it's, okay, oh, interestingly, it's going to be Phoenix for Poizon, but the Phoenix production has not been constant here. So if you really want to start Phoenix and maybe go into mass Phoenix play, or like only a lot of Phoenixes in order to transition into something else more easily, then you would really need constant Phoenix production until you have at least 4 to 5, and then just keep producing them, trying to harass your opponent by picking up probes, picking up lonely units, taking them out, maybe even picking off that Mothership Core if your opponent does not react in time, and then just massing up more and more Phoenixes until your opponent can't really deal with them anymore. Because you can do that. If you are really good at moving around your Phoenixes here and there, picking off probes again and again and again, forcing your opponent into producing maybe buildings to help defend, maybe even some quick units that help defend as well, then you're just forcing them into building things they don't really want to build, and while also losing economy because you still manage to pick up some drones left and right. And then eventually your opponent will just end up with stuff they don't really want to have, and a weaker echo than yourself, and then at some point in time you can just send whatever you have across the map and kill them because they will just have way less than you do. But it seems as if Poizon just wants to have something against drops here, so that's probably what the one Phoenix was all about. She now goes into Void Ray production, and probably just wants to overwhelm her opponent with a gateway-based army and some additional Void Rays that can deal a tremendous amount of damage once they get close to armored units or armored buildings and charge up their Void Ray, or their Ray, their Void Ray. What's it called? The Prismatic Beam. Okay, so... and it's going to be the fatter Ray, not as fat as in the Cardboard cartoons or in the Cardboard mod, because that prismatic beam just looks ridiculous. But it's great. If you haven't seen it, go watch the StarCraft's 2v2 mod VOD under the VOD section of the FSL page. Because it's just great. It's just great to see once the Cardboard Void Rays charge up and get an immensely thick ray out of it. So, Poizon just moving out a little bit. In the meantime, we have the Oracle of Midas flying in, killing off a few more workers, having killed 7 workers already. So that was already a good trade here for Midas, who might eventually lose that Phoenix because it will be able to take down the Oracle. Yeah, unfortunately, Phoenixes are as quick as Oracles, but they can shoot while flying. So yeah, eventually takes the Oracle out, but like I said before, not before 7 workers got killed. And that throws back Poizon immensely here, back to 36 workers to 51. And that will probably just pay off for Midas a little bit later here. She already has a bigger army, only by a small margin though, but it's already bigger, and she has the better income. Might even try to take a 3rd base already, while her opponent is just struggling to get up her economy once more. We have a Twilight Council going down for Midas in the meantime. Midas usually goes for Gateway Colossi based army later on, and we know that she's not an aggressive player at all. She usually just wants to sit back, massing units on 3 bases, waiting until 200 is out, and then just eventually pressure across the map and kill off her opponent. So nice little use of the remaining Oracle here. Getting a stasis ward out at the potential 3rd base location, now realizing that the 3rd base is over here, and using the Revelation spell, nicely done here, so she will always be able to see where her opponent is. Oracle should be quick enough to run away or fly away from these Void Rays here, now taking a 3rd base of her own, but of course she will have it a little bit later than her opponent. We already have, like I said, more workers for Midas, so Midas should actually be able to even saturate that base a lot quicker, and there she goes. So it has already almost saturated her base completely because she transferred some probes from her main base and her natural base. So nicely done there. Is now already going into Colossi, already has the robotics bay out. Has she already researched? No, I think she will in just a few seconds once she has enough gas to get the thermal lance upgrade out, and is already going into carriers as well. So yeah, like I said, everything's just lining up. Midas, like I said before, doesn't really want to risk anything. Never. She has some things inside her build that allow her to harass her opponent initially, a little bit. But like I said, most of the time she just sits back, tries to defend her 3 bases as good as possible, and then just transitions into a late game army without doing anything. Just defending, not really harassing. Maybe going into DTs at some point, trying to deal some DT harassment somewhere, but if that doesn't work out, then again, just waiting, and waiting. Okay, now what was that? Okay, it was actually only the Oracle just putting the Revelation spell on the army once more. But like I said, I mean, it's okay to do so. It's the best you can do with the Oracle at that point in time, but it's not really necessary. If you know Midas, you really know what happens. And what happens is that nothing really happens. But seems as if Midas this time around really wants to move out a little bit. Okay, it seems as if she really wants to get rid of that pesky Oracle, expecting it to fly around somewhere here. But unfortunately not getting it just barely. So she doesn't really want to move out towards her opponent, just wanted to catch that Oracle there, but didn't get it eventually. Stasis Ward's still out here, and that will now be a little bit annoying for Midas, who's just sent out that probe over here that will now get caught inside that Stasis Ward. So nicely done by Poison there. And there it goes. Unfortunately for her, she's just supply blocked herself like crazy. Yeah, Midas just realizing, what the hell, there's an alarm over here. Pulls all of her army to the left side. And then realizes, oh, okay, never mind, it was just a Stasis Ward. And then returns. So Midas will now be able to expand. A little bit later than expected. Seems as if Poison wants to expand as well. And now all it comes down to, and there it is, the Dark Shrine. Like I said, mostly for Archons, but also there for light harassment if possible. You can just use the Dark Templars. Dark Templars, I mean, a Dark Shrine is something you eventually want to have in a PvP, because Dark Templars are just great units in any scenario. You might just get, ooh, and again not getting the Oracle, how frustrating that must be for Midas. But again, just great use of the Oracle by Poison there. Just being active with her Oracle. I mean, she might actually be the best Oracle player in the FSL. I rarely see another Protoss make such good use of Oracles as Poison does. So really great there. Always just using the Stasis Ward, always using the Revelation spell to her advantage. So greatly done there. And now it seems as if Midas just realizes, well, I'm already pretty far out on the map. I have a decent army. Maybe, well, no, maybe not. Just pressuring her opponent, seeing, oh, there's resistance. Well, maybe I'll return back to home now and just wait for my rest, for the rest of my 40 supply to get filled with carriers, and then just come back later. So in the meantime, we have Poison also producing carriers, but only... No, actually she does have 2 Stargates, but she's a little bit behind in economy and a little bit behind in upgrades, I guess. No, actually she's not. She's even ahead in upgrades here. Great. Yeah, that's something that Poison also does a lot, taking care of her upgrades. She already has the +1 air upgrades, and with a lot of carriers, that actually means a lot. Carriers get great buffs by getting the +1 attack upgrade, because every single interceptor shoots twice, and every single interceptor shot gets the upgrade, which equals, I think, 16 damage more per upgrade. So if you actually just get 3 upgrades, you end up with 48 more damage per round, per attack round. That's really a lot. I think that's actually the unit that scales best with upgrades here. So, of course it's not AoE damage, that would be insane. But yeah, in the meantime we also have a Mothership morphing in for Poison here. She will have it a little bit earlier than her opponent. And she's actually caught up quite nicely in supply. So it might actually happen that Poison pushes across the map a little bit earlier than her opponent with the Mothership as well. And the possibility to cloak most of her units underneath it. So in a direct engagement, that could just be the deciding part. Could just be the tip of the tongue that just turns the battle into Poison's favor. We'll see how everything's going out. I mean, still better. Ooh, another... Yeah, again, like I said, Poison just always being relentless with these Stasis Wards over here. Nicely done there. Also seeing the army movement. But yeah, the only thing that Midas is better at right now is her income. But of course, income in an air battle not as important. I mean, yeah, Midas could actually just throw down a few more warp gates here and then just reinforce more quickly due to these warp gates, but all of her warp gate units will be mostly useless in a direct engagement. So it's not really that important. Carriers still take a lot of time to get produced. So if you lose the direct engagement, you almost for sure lost the whole battle. Unless, of course, you only lose it by a small margin, and then you can just quickly reinforce with units that just take down the rest of your opponent's army. And then, of course, you might do it. Okay, Poizon now coming in from the left-hand side. Midas realizes that by the pylon that just got taken down, and also by the remaining forces over to the left-hand side. Now moves everything to the left, and has gotten her own mothership core at that point in time. Better upgrades, way better upgrades on the ground and in the air for Poizon. I mean, it doesn't matter that much on the ground. Everything on the ground will die anyways. Do these players actually have an observer inside the army with the army? I don't think so, right? No. So yeah, both will first have to take out the mothership core before they can actually do anything else. Observer now being produced for Poizon. So she will actually be able to see most of the army. Will now probably easily take out the base over here. Yeah, she was probably just guessing that a base must be somewhere over here after realizing that a lot of army movement was going towards the left side earlier on. So this is, I mean, this is a huge ass army. Look at this carrier fleet. This is the Golden Armada. Absolutely. But yeah, okay, finally Midas catching up with the upgrades. Now actually has the armor upgrade, so this actually makes her own fleet a little bit better. But yeah, there's the +2 upgrade for shields for Poizon already done, and her +3 upgrade will also be done. But Poizon needs to look for the fight as long as she has the upgrade advantage. It's 11 carriers for Midas, plus a lot of Void Rays that are also pretty problematic. Okay, now she recalls to somewhere. Don't really know why she does that. I think she might have just wanted to recall to over here. No. Don't know why she actually just moved all of her army forces over to the left-hand side. Maybe she just now wants to get in here because she saw the Dark Templars attacking. Or maybe she just wanted to get over to the right-hand side as quickly as possible. I mean, that's also a nice little move. That's something I would really like to see a bit more. Like forcing your opponent's army over to the left-hand side, and then maybe having like some sort of proxy nexus somewhere close to your opponent. I mean, the money is there anyways, and then you suddenly just jump from over here, just retreat and jump with your whole army to that proxy nexus, and then just walk right into the third base and kill off everything before your opponent can just move back. Although they most of the time will just have a mothership and a recall available as well. But still, I think it would be a nifty move. So let's see, here we have the big engagement. It's way less carrier for Poizon there. I don't really know if she can actually take it out. The Void Ray is just firing at everything here. Mostly at the interceptors, taking them out immediately. The most problematic thing though for Poizon should be that she just has way less carriers, while Midas just has the 11, totally destroying everything of Poizon while only losing 20 supply. So wow. I mean, that was like total annihilation here. Don't actually know why Poizon is not leaving the game. She probably hopes that she will somehow come back. I mean, it's frustrating to see, well, I have so many bases, I have so much income, but you just won't be able to reinforce fast enough. I mean, 11 carriers, not even one got taken down. Even if you produce 3 carriers at a time, it will take you 3 complete production rounds in order to not even match the amount of carriers that your opponent has. So there's just no way. There's just no way to come back into this game. I'm sorry for you Poizon fans, but there's nothing to hype up here anymore. Midas can now just steamroll over her opponent. There's just nothing that Poizon can do. And like I said, it doesn't even matter if you have a lot of gateways and just reinforce with like Archons or something, because even Archons won't do jack shit against these carriers. Just see this army die in an instant here, no problem whatsoever. GG, and Midas takes the first map. Here we are on the second map of this best of 5. It's Paladino Terminal. Totally brand new map here of this season of StarCraft. So we have Midas not spawning to the top and left because that's Poizon in purple and Midas in red. Yeah, Paladino, one of the totally new maps. Pretty huge ass main base. I mean, have a look at that, and we even have a backdoor room, or we even have some room tucked back here, separated with some gas pipes here, so you can actually just hide buildings from view, or you could just land here without the opponent noticing. So, well, I actually haven't noticed this part even when I was playing, because it's just so far off. I mean, have a look at that. You're just here, and then you care about your entrance and about your natural. And even if you scroll back here a little, I mean, even if you just move to the side, or just move towards the third base, or something that could potentially be the third, you don't actually even see this. This is a really neat thing. If you haven't discovered this one yet as well, you might just want to use it for drops. I think that's quite nice here. You can just easily like land a warp prism in here and just warp in units or even drops or something. So you should make really certain that you have a building standing somewhere close here, so that you make sure that you won't be able to warp in. This actually reminds me of older maps of Wings of Liberty. I think, where was it? Was it Metalopolis? I think it should be Metalopolis that actually also had an even smaller part of that. So Poizon has already discovered this part, is parking the probe right inside the steam, so that it won't be that easy to reveal it. You just have to stand really close by to it inside the steam in order to see the probe. So it seems as if she just is up to something and maybe just wants to throw down a pylon in this backspace here in order to surprise her opponent. We'll see how this is going to work out or not, but she's still at one base. She's already using the pylon back here to probably hide something, or maybe make sure that she has vision of that area as well, but I think she might just want to go into DTs right away. We don't really know. She hasn't built a natural base yet. Midas is just scouting everything, probably getting a little bit nervous here already that her opponent is not trying to it's not really putting into effort. Like I said, there's the Twilight Council, might just try to hide the Dark Shrine right there. And we still have the probe moving around, still making sure it's inside the steam. So yeah, no idea. Midas has no idea that this probe is still inside her base. She has one stalker in here, moving it around, but yeah, I mean, that's just the patrol move, but she doesn't really look for that part. Seems as if she as well has no idea that this area actually exists. And like I said, it's pretty neatly tucked back, so if you don't really take care right from the get-go, it might just come back to bite you in the ass. So let's see, we have a robo down and the possibility to get out an observer, but she's probably going to use it. I mean, she might use it for the first observer, but then just send it across the map. Okay, just sends it with the army. That will be quite interesting. And there it goes down. There's the warp-in pylon. Have a look at all these old school shenanigans here. I really love it. That this is actually happening. Totally reminds me of Metalopolis games, where you also try to sneak in a probe inside your main, inside your opponent's main, just getting one proxy pylon somewhere, back when proxy pylons still gave you quick warp-ins. And yeah, then you just try to either 4-gate him or her, using this pylon, warping in a lot of units right inside the main base. Wouldn't probably work out that well anymore due to the mothership core and a lot of pylons standing close to the mineral line. So a 4-gate, even with a proxy pylon right inside the main base, won't really work out as much anymore. But yeah, Dark Templars are still a neat thing. So, let's see if this abuse actually works out for Poizon. But so far it seems as if it does. Mida's now sending out her only observer with the army, but it's still kinda close by. So I think it's not as catastrophic as it could be. Another immortal just being made right afterwards. I mean, Poizon is not all in by any means, but she needs to deal some damage with this, and she probably will be able to do so in just a few seconds. So, pylon is ready, Dark Shrine is ready, Poizon just needs to gather up a few more minerals in order to warp in Dark Templars. But she hasn't done so yet. I really don't know what she's waiting for. There it comes. There's the first Dark Templar, another Dark Templar. Yeah, that's the slow warp-ins for you. And in the meantime, we have Midas just pushing out. Oh, and again, there's another steam part where you can also hide a proxy pylon to reinforce. So also, nice little area here. Really have to take a good look at that map if you play it. So, and that of course could be now problematic. We have DTs inside the main base, 2 DTs actually even, and Midas of course also microing at the front. Might not even realizing what's happening back at home, but yeah, the only thing that... Oh, I mean, there is an observer with the army, so Poizon cannot even defend this with DTs warping in, but in the meantime she's dealt kind of damage back at Midas' base, but Midas still being able to respond in time, having the observer close by, so only 6 probes were killed. One more Dark Templar over here. Midas has to take care of this army at the front, but yeah, there's not much that she can actually do. Okay, just having... Okay, that's at least helpful, having 3 pylons overcharging right at the entrance towards her main base, so Midas has to retreat for now. But of course, now the Mothership Core is almost out of energy, only has 1 more pylon overcharge in it. And there's not much back at home, and like I said before, Poizon won't be able to hold this with DTs. Might eventually be able to hold this with Photon Overcharge, but yeah, I mean, the only thing that Midas actually needs to do is retreat a little bit. She has a second base up already. Yes, she's lost a lot of workers, but she's already ahead in workers, and she's of course ahead in bases. So Poizon is really all in. There's not much she can do from here on out. Trying to take another base, she would be just infinitely behind. I mean, taking another base would just take another 70 seconds, and from then on saturating it, and from then on producing enough units to overwhelm your opponent, while Midas already has a second? No way. Seems as if Midas is just looking for that proxy pylon, still not even thinking about that part, and Poizon just warps in a few adepts inside the main base, will now for sure give away where these units are actually coming from. And now Midas has finally realized it, just moves in with the adept to realize that 3 adepts had been warped in right inside her main base. Poizon saying hi, and now moves into the into the main base mineral line. Will just be able to take out maybe 1 or 2 drones, but will not be able to deal that much damage. The army is already coming back, now moving outwards, so even if she let the Shades finish, she would get killed immediately, not letting it get finished. Well, that's at least a nice little harassment here. Killing off a few more workers and it would actually be worth it. Yes, 7 workers, that should be kinda okay-ish. So sacrificing 3 adepts for 7 workers is kinda okay, but of course with no real backup plan behind it, I don't think it's actually going to work out. 38 supply to 66. I mean, like I said, she just bought herself a nice amount of time to play catch up. She even destroyed a lot of workers for Midas, so they're not even, but at least it's only 8 workers difference for now. But yeah, I mean, Midas is just capable of producing 2 probes at a time. She might even be able to actually take a 3rd as soon as she wants. She has the bigger army, she has the better tech. Although that's debatable because Poizon still has the Dark Shrine and can produce Archons if she wants to. I think the best thing for her to do would be just getting Charge and Archons, and then with Charge Lots and Archons trying to destroy this army as soon as possible while trying to take a base right behind this. Or maybe just going full greed, trying to produce as many probes as she can, maybe even getting some additional gateways, and once it's saturated and she gets some income, risk it all and warp in a lot of units. So we'll see how this is actually going to work out or not, but it doesn't look good for Poizon. It's looking pretty grim. Midas in the meantime just doesn't want to risk too much, just stays back a little bit here. Like I said before, I mean, she might just get a 3rd base behind that attack. So, again, just moving out a little bit, moving back once more. There are no units inside her main base, don't really know where she wants to go with this unit. So quite strange army movement there. Maybe she just... Okay, it seems as if she just wanted to check this space over here as well in order to see whether her opponent might again just have taken another base. Oh, she just wants to hide it. That's also a clever plan here. Yeah, it seems as if she just wants to get all of these units behind the curtain, but Poizon has an overseer here anyways, and an observer, so it doesn't mind. And like I said, there's the 3rd base by Midas, unfortunately being supply blocked for a little bit. But yeah, if we just have a look, I mean Midas, she doesn't really know it, but with that army that she has, she might even be able to take out that one. I mean, yes, there's one pylon here, another one over here, but they're pretty far away. Now we finally have a 4th immortal. But yeah, I mean, Midas could have probably just went in, killed off most of that army without losing too much of her own, and then just being able to reproduce her own army more easily. Still, I mean, why risk it if you can just lay back a little bit, wait for more units to finish, setting up everything, and now even preparing for some harassment inside of Poizon's base. Won't really be able to surprise her too much, because there are a lot of buildings around that will tell Poizon early enough what's going on. So more zealots getting warped in. Do these zealots actually already have charge? I think they do, right? Yes, they do. So they will actually close the distance towards the mineral line pretty quickly, and might even be able to take out more of Poizon's precious probes here. So, just waiting for the harassment. Third base getting saturated. So the longer this game goes, the more problematic for Poizon it becomes. She already tries to take a third base of her own, but again, she's just late. She's just late with everything. Her everything is just delayed by 40 to 50 seconds. And it shows in the supplies. Not that much right now, but it's already a pretty huge gap. I mean, 50 to 34 workers, 63 army supply to 43. And that doesn't really seem much, but it's just the beginning of the end. This gap will just get bigger and bigger over time. And in addition to this, Midas will also have the possibility to get upgrades. What Poizon just can't afford, because she has to invest everything into probes and into units. So here it comes, the Warp Prison drop with these zealots. Pretty quick reaction time there by Poizon. Wow, almost like 0.5 seconds there. Great reaction by Poizon, just bringing all of her probes to safety. Still 6 even die. Even though she reacted that quickly, but nicely done by Midas as well. Just getting all of her zealots to safety, not sacrificing them, but rescuing them inside the Warp Prism to come back another day. And in the meantime, we have Poizon's army gathering together. It's a lot of immortals here, but there are also a lot of immortals. No, actually only 2 immortals out for Midas, but she also has Colossi in the mix and a Void Radiant. Colossi actually don't even matter that much, so Midas just wants to unload her zealots once more, but there's a Dark Templar in position, so won't be able to deal that much damage. Maybe just wants to get in from behind once more. There's a Stalker in position, but Stalker's not really that good against... oh, don't really know why she... Okay, probably she just saw the red dot or the warning and just wanted to bring all of them to into a secure position. And another Dark Templar being warped in. So yeah, I think Poizon should be rarely safe. Of course, Dark Templar will kill eventually, kill themselves eventually, but maybe not quick enough before they can be able to take down these robotics bay. And that's just a huge hit for Midas here. Wow, actually getting the robotic support bay there really nicely done. That just means no Colossi, no Disruptor, no whatsoever for Poizon to get back into this game. I mean, Disruptors might have actually changed the tide of this battle eventually if she just managed to get some good hits. But now without the robotic support bay, it will just take forever to set it up again to get these 3 robos going. In the meantime, it seems as if Poizon just wants to take the sneaky route over to the right-hand side and then maybe launch a huge attack against Midas. But Midas is already 60 army supply ahead. Like I said before, it's just the tipping point. Now even getting in once more, the Dark Templar trying to chop away at the zealots and will eventually clear them up before the Dark Shrine goes down. But in the meantime, we have the big engagement right over the left-hand side, and it's lasers, ladies and gentlemen. Poizon needs to evacuate out using the Mothership Core's recall here, and Midas just takes the next base. Should now realize that she's way ahead after killing all of Poizon's forces, and this time around not waiting that much longer, but taking her chance, walks right into the natural base. Don't really know why she wants to go over here. I mean, the army is over here, but it's just, I mean, it's pitiful. Let's be honest. We'll just kill off everything over here. GG, and Midas takes the next map for a 2-0 lead. Undergrounds is our 3rd map in this best of 5. We have Poizon spawning to the top left-hand corner, and Midas on red to the bottom right, leading 2-0. Only needs 1 more match in order to take this home. Poizon needs to win 3 in a row, which is a difficult thing to do. Let's see if she can start her comeback on Honor Grounds. I mean, best map for PvP, isn't it? I mean, the name is Honor Grounds, and we have both players playing Protoss. Is that a coincidence? I don't really think so. So, Gateway for Midas plus an Assimilator. Gateway and Assimilator for Poizon, nothing all too uncommon. Seems as if Poizon just wants to scout. It's a 4-player map, so you really want to know pretty early on where your opponent might be coming from. So Midas at the same time just doesn't want to scout at all for now. Probably just wants to gather a few more minerals before sending out a scout. Again, on the grounds, the base with the backdoor expansion, or the back pocket expansion. So now Midas also moving out, scouting. Poizon will have found her opponent in just a few seconds. At the same time, already taken a base, while Midas is just waiting a little bit longer here. She's already massing a few minerals here. So, or yeah, gathering a few minerals here, so she will expand in just a few seconds, I'd say. Probe moving towards the right location. Poizon will just scout her opponent in just a few seconds. Base halfway done. And a Cybernetics core plus another gateway going out, so it seems as if both players prepare for some sort of macro play here, or maybe not. Quite interesting there. Midas still spending money into gateways and not into anything else. So now finally Poizon checks for the second base, sees that it's not there, might actually get a little bit uncomfortable now. But unfortunately we have supply block for Midas as well. Don't really know if I don't know. This really took her quite long to get that base up. Seems as if Poizon just knows the maps a little bit better than her opponent and is already playing the maps a little bit against her, knowing that this is a huge ass 4-player map and it has a tucked back pocket expansion. She just went for the expansion straight away and now is economically ahead, which might pay off later on in the game. In the meantime, Midas still not having a base. I mean, what is she waiting for? Does she really want to go for one base all in? I can't really think of that. I mean, she has 400 minerals now, but there's no probe on the way to build any sort of another pylon going down. No base whatsoever. I don't know what Midas is doing. Maybe she expects that. No, I can't really think that. I mean, she sees the minimap. Maybe she sent out a probe at some point in time, but it somehow got denied the base. No, there finally it goes down at the 3.5 minute mark. I mean, if you just have a look, Poizon is already quite far ahead in workers. She has had her second base for quite some time, while Midas has just started to take it. Wow. Now getting the robotics facility and a Stargate right behind it. So, I mean, it won't be able for Poizon to break through this main entrance with a pylon in position. And yeah, the army units will be there in quite some time. There's the Stalker getting out, Gateway getting morphed into a warp gate. She will have some warp cycles available, and she's now also getting, okay, first another observer in order to check out what her opponent is doing. But still, I mean, what does she want to do with an army? She has an interesting army force here. I mean, it's kind of okay, but just it's nothing that you can use for like anything. I mean, you can't really harass, you can't really attack in here because your opponent will just still have the defender's advantage, and the more time passes, the better it gets for Poizon, mining 600 minerals and 300 more gas per minute more. That's huge. Okay, Midas will try to equal up things with the Oracle, but Poizon already doing the Koshki style, having Mothership Core and Stalkers available. Actually, I think, yeah, this Mothership Core is out of place. This Mothership Core should be somewhere over here. Koshki usually plays it the way where she has a Mothership Core at 1 expansions with Photon Overcharge available and pylons. And 3 Stalkers, I think, inside the other mineral line. Just before she wants to push out. She just keeps them there just before she wants to push out, or at least to a certain timing when she expects that her opponent won't send an Oracle in anymore, but that just makes her safe like crazy. Okay, Poizon just warps in a few more Stalkers, so she will be safe against any kind of Oracle shenanigans anyways. Maybe we'll lose one probe here, or maybe two, because two Stalkers don't really shoot down an Oracle that quickly. But maybe Midas will retreat just before she loses the Oracle, and thus not deal that much damage. Okay, Oracle flies in, sees that there's protection inside the base. Well, like I said, okay, unfortunately for Poizon, they are having everything set up, but yeah, just the transferring probes get picked off by that Oracle. Nicely done, though, by Midas here, getting two more Oracles, but we'll probably now lose it, yeah. Flying right into the Photon Overcharge and two more Stalkers that just must kill the Oracle. So one Oracle for two probe kills? Not really worth it. In the meantime, Midas taking a base of her own, third base, but yeah, I mean, again, Poizon's third base already done. She's already transitioning into Robotics Bay here, might even go into Colossi herself, or maybe into Disruptors. We've seen her play Disruptors a lot more lately, especially in the PvP, so I'm really excited to see what she will produce out of this Robo after this Immortalized Follow has finished. But I think if she wanted to go into Colossi, we'd already see the Thermal Lance upgrade here. So I think it's going to be Disruptors. And yeah, Nexus still in the making, but Poizon has almost already saturated her base. Okay, still missing 8 probes, never mind. But yeah, I mean, the income just speaks for itself. More harvesters, more income per second, and it has been like that for quite some time. So she's ahead in tech, she's ahead in workers, she's ahead in supply, in army supply. Not in upgrades though, but it's almost everything is there. Okay, robotics facility producing disruptors as expected. And nothing really high-tech over on Midas' side. Nothing tier 3 at least. We have an Immortal and we have a Void Ray, but both of those are only tier 2 tech. So let's see. Even getting the gravitic boosters, which should be the upgrade for the Warp Prism and not for the Observer. There's also a speed upgrade for the Observer, but I just can't recall what it's called right now. It doesn't matter though. That should be the gravitic. Or is the gravitic... Oh no, that's it. That it is. Okay, never mind. The gravitic boost is the gravitic drive is the one for the Warp Prism. So this is actually the movement speed for observers, making observers a lot quicker and thus a little bit more easy to retreat. Yeah, to get them out of the danger zone if you want to have them. Or if you just want to move them to some part on the map, it also becomes a little bit more practical to have those. Okay, even getting the Templar Archives, maybe for Storm, maybe just for Archons. I think probably for Archons, although she doesn't really have that much of gas income. We'll now try to take a 4th base over to the right-hand side, while finally Midas has managed to actually not even saturate her base, is not even producing a few more drones, but is now already transitioning into carriers. And that, of course, could be quite interesting and problematic for Poizon. Like I said before, she does have an army you shouldn't take lightly. And it seems as if Poizon might just want to move out right now, maybe waiting for... okay, she just waits for the Warp Prism to help her out reinforce. I don't know if that actually might have been a misclick. If she really wanted to have the Observer speed, or if she rather would have wanted to go for the Warp Prism speed. Maybe she just misclicked the wrong icon. Because I don't really know. She doesn't even have that many observers. The Observer is like really, really fast, and it will be difficult to shoot it down once you move around with your army and you just take care of that Observer because it's so quick. But I think she might have just wanted the Warp Prism speed. But yeah, never mind. So now she just has an army. She has something to reinforce it. At the meantime, we have 3 carriers in a row being produced. Or 3 carriers at once, not in a row. 3 carriers at once being produced by Midas. So this might just be the timing window that Poizon actually needs. I mean, Midas is just trying to warp her mothership core into a mothership, so it won't be able to photon overcharge as well. Okay, nice position over here at the watchtower. We'll just see the army incoming just a little bit before it actually hits. But this army is really frightening. I mean, yeah, there's 1 carrier, but it doesn't really deal that much damage. So there's the rest of the army. Mothership core is almost done warping into a mothership. So yeah, there the army comes in. We have a lot of anti-air here, and we have a lot of units that pack a punch on the ground. So bam, there goes the first disruptor hit, almost killing everything on the ground. So now it's only the air units against the ground units, but it seems as if there might be barely enough ground units to kill off these carriers. Ooh, taking down the mothership core just right as it morphs into a mothership, killing off everything that's in the sky. And now Midas' army has just died. She just has some ground units, just won't do jack shit against these disruptors. I mean, with ground forces alone, she will never be able to fight back. She just tries to wait for her carriers to come out, but only carriers without ground support. I mean, once they reach a critical mass, it's no problem. But as long as there are only a few of them, I mean, Poizon does not have that many Stalkers left. Oh, never mind, she has a lot of them over here to the left-hand side. Will eventually kill off that 4th base as well, and then Midas will sit on her 2 bases, one of which is already mined out. And I don't really think that much will happen right here. Okay, even not focusing the carriers, but rather killing off the interceptors. And yeah, okay, or the Archons plus the Stalkers. Stalkers blinking forward, now trying to focus fire down the 1 carrier over here. In the meantime, we have a 3rd carrier just finishing, but 2 carriers without any support at all won't really cut it, won't really do the trick. And Poizon takes the 3rd map for a 1-2. Proxima Station is our 4th map in this best of 5. Midastouch just lost the last match. Ooh, and unfortunately is a little bit misclicking here. She needs to win 1 more to take it. Poizon, on the other hand, just managed to take her first map off of her opponent and is hungry for another one. Let's see if she can do it on this brand new map in the map pool. Proxima Station. So also pretty huge ass main base here with a lot of space and a backdoor expansion that actually has a little weak point here with some debris that you can take out and then just walk in, but it's a small ramp, so you still have to be careful, and usually you have some buildings around here that can spot when units try to take this debris out. But of course, if you just like commit to an early attack, like some proxy, tearing this down and thus opening another pass inside the base, you might actually surprise your opponent at some point, but most probably not. And then we have another small ramp pretty far away from the main base, where you can actually take a good 3rd, and there's still a wide open space here. But at least there's another building already here. If you just put in a simulator on here, it might be a little bit more easy to wall this off. To wall this off. And from then on out, it becomes a little bit more difficult with 4th bases. You might just be able to tear down these rocks and then just take the gold over here, right inside your path of attack. Or you want to avoid that and may just take that base over here. But it's pretty far away from the rest of your bases, so again, defending those becomes quite problematic. This base, this layout actually reminds me of another base, the name I just can't think of, but especially this one here where you have the base over here, and then you actually had the usual 3rd base right down here. You would have a ramp that would lead towards here and could then just take the 3rd base. I think it still was... No, it actually was a Legacy of the Void map. You already saw disruptors on those. And yeah, just kind of... But it also had a back pocket expansion, so it looked pretty similar to this one. Except for the 3rd base. The 3rd base as well was on another high ground. So... Okay, Midas in the meantime just checking if base has already been taken. Poizon starting with 2 Stalkers will be able to take out that pesky probe and already getting the first kill inside this match. While in the meantime Midas invested into an Adept and a Stalker. Also not expanding, seems as if she just wants to expand right now, sends her units over here because Poizon cleverly just put a pylon over here that will delay this base for a little bit more, and of course right now she knows that her opponent wants to expand, so she might as well just expand herself, and there she goes. because why not? If your opponent expands, you know that she will probably not attack you anytime soon. So you might as well expand yourself. There's no safer point in time to expand as when your opponent expands as well, just mirroring what your opponent does. So I actually like this move where she has a sentry in here, and this sentry will just easily block the main ramp if your opponent just goes for crazy all-in aggression and you need to buy yourself some time. You can just easily do that. So, in the meantime, robotics facility producing an observer for Midastouch, which will probably stay with the army, maybe a second one to figure out what Poizon is doing, but at that point in time both are pretty close to each other. Seems as if Midas has just been a little bit more continuous with her worker production, so she has a few more, which can actually make a difference as we see, especially that early on. So, Forge for Poizon here. Seems as if she wants to go for a long macro game and wants to start the first upgrades as soon as possible. No Forge yet for Midas. Maybe she also wants to have some cannons just close to the mineral lines in order to deal with DT harassment and any sort of other harassment later on. But I think it's mostly for early upgrades. We'll see what's happening next after this forge has been done. So, 2 more Vespene geysers being taken. Actually quite late, I'd say, but it seems as if Midas just wanted to have a little bit more mineral income since she was already banking up a lot of gas. But yeah, the longer the game goes, the quicker you want to have your Vespene geysers, because a lot of Protoss units that are really valuable need a lot of gas. So you just want to have those gases up as quickly as possible. Of course, not unreasonably quick. And here we go, using the Forge for both upgrades and a photon cannon. Maybe even a photon cannon back here as well. Like I said, it just helps dealing with harassment a little bit better. And yeah, especially Protoss has a lot of tools to harass mineral lines, like oracles, like warp prism, whatever harassment, and DTs can be a nuisance as well. So if you just have a cannon in close to your mineral line, it will always just make defending everything easier, especially if you have a mothership core around as well, because then you can just photon overcharge, and the cannon will just also provide vision against cloak units. So both just laying back, just playing the waiting game here. Midas using her observer to get as much information as she can. Will now probably get taken out. Nice little snipe there by Poizon there. Seeing the ripples moving above her base and just moving her army into position. And once the observer gets in place, the other observer got sniped, so nicely done there. I also like this pylon over here. I always like it when players just plant down pylons all over the map, be it for, like in this case, vision purpose, or be it for just warp-ins at some point in time. I mean, yeah, pylons alone don't provide those quick warp-ins anymore, but even with slow warp-ins, I mean, if it just takes 10 seconds to warp in like 7 zealots, you can then send into a third base from an unsuspected angle. That's just still that can still just be the money kill. So if players just have a lot of pylons around all over the map, I always enjoy seeing it, because it's just a useful tool, and I think it's really underused by a lot of players. So, third Nexus being planted down by Midas, and Poizon just reacts immediately. She has not seen that her opponent is taking a third base, but can probably expect her to have done so by now. Midas now going into the Dark Shrine. Interestingly, Poizon doesn't have that many DTs around, not yet, but will probably move into a Dark Shrine at one point anyways. But for now, she again just wants to go into Disruptors, and it could kind of work out a little bit better this time around, since Midas is actually going for a ground force. Well, the thing with Disruptors is that they are kinda unreliable. I mean, if you're really good with microing Stalkers and Disruptors, you can just deal a lot of damage. But it's still, if your Disruptors actually deal a good hit, is more thanks to your opponent making a mistake than you sending out and maneuvering the Purification Nova the right way. So even if you just move it correctly and like the best way you can, if your opponent just reacts accordingly and splits accordingly, or just moves away from your disruptor shots better than you do, or better, yeah, I mean, there's just so much you can do with the disruptor and moving it around. At some point it just comes down to your opponent making a mistake while reorganizing her army. And then if of course you just manage to deal that amazing disruptor shot, killing off like 6 units at once, and maybe even sending in another one that just kills another chunk, then yeah, in an instant you're just way ahead and it makes the game easy for you. But like I said, it's unreliable most of the time. And that's why not many Protoss like to go for disruptor play, although it has become pretty common in PvP, especially due to Neep's style. So let's see if Poizon will be able to be a second Neep here and kill off this army with disruptor shots. I mean, she could do very well with that. It's only ground-based, no air units whatsoever. Disruptors are like the lurkers of Protoss once they hit with the Purification Novas. They can just turn a game immediately into your favor if your opponent engages right into the disruptor shots and you land like 2 or 3 of them. You can just annihilate a complete army in seconds. So it might work out, it might not. Midas in the meantime also getting charge. So charge lots could of course also cause a big problem for disruptors, because charge lots can just close the distance towards the disruptors so easily, and disruptors can then not really shoot at the charge lots, because if they shoot the charge lot they will also hit themselves most of the time, so it's a bit problematic. Seems as if this pylon over here is already worth its money, because it has now revealed that Midas sent a DT over here that now tries to take down the debris, but Poizon reacts in time, plants down a photon cannon, and it should get done soon enough before this Dark Templar manages to get through the debris. But yeah, that's a lot of damage. In the meantime, we have a bigger engagement over to the left-hand side. But yeah, Midas just retreats right at the moment when she realizes what Poizon actually has here. And maybe that's the time for Poizon to get the big, or to search for the big fight. She's not moving forwards anymore. Oh, such a shame. I think she should have really forced an engagement here. Her opponent is really scared, moving back like crazy. I mean, yes, Colossi are intimidating, but Colossi cannot destroy Purification Novas. Actually, nothing can. Purification Novas cannot be shot. They can only be cancelled by killing off the disruptor that shot them, which can be kind of problematic if the disruptor is protected well and tucked back. But yeah, it seems as if Poizon just wants to wait a little bit more. That might be a mistake in the long run, but it's of course easier for us to say as the observer than for Poizon. I mean, engaging right into the right into the third base might have also been kind of problematic. But I mean, now the Colossus count is just getting bigger, and the army count of Midas is just getting better. She already has the better upgrades. She's now transitioning into Stargate, same as Poizon. So maybe Poizon just wants to wait a little bit more for the big fleet to come in. But even if she wanted to do that, she would need to make supply free in order to produce those. I don't know. It seems as if she just wants to go into the fourth and kill it off before Midas can establish it. And I mean, look at that. That's such a that would have been such a great hit, just sending in the disruptors if your opponent is not watching, and suddenly like 5 disruptor shots move right into that army. Bam! Everything is just lost in an instant. You lose the game in like 1 second. So frustrating. Of course, also not easy to do, but like I said, your opponent cannot always watch her army, so like I said, if you just get this money shot, just getting all of these disruptors right into the middle of this army, it will all blow up. So let's see how this big engagement actually works out. A lot of army actually gets taken out of Poizon before she can even shoot these disruptor balls, but there they are, quite nice connections there with the Purification Novas. Midas just has to retreat for a little bit. Poizon has to be careful not to overcommit, just moves in with most of the Immortals, but has to fight upwards that ramp without detection. Is that her detection No, it's not. So she didn't have her observer close by, unfortunately. So fighting against that army of the Ram. Ooh, getting another nice disruptor shot over here, just zoning out the rest of the units. But yeah, being up in supply right now, having more army value. I think she could just reinforce her army a little bit and then just go for another attack. As soon as Midas is down in supply, trying to produce these very, very costly units here in the Colossi and relying mostly on them. But Midas also has a lot of gateways here, as we can see, already producing a lot of Stalkers at one time. In the meantime, we have Poizon already finished her own 4th base. If she really wants to get ahead, I think she should take a 5th as soon as possible. After fighting me, she probably just doesn't know exactly where she is at that point in time. She saw a lot of Protoss army explode, but it's quite difficult to really see or analyze how much you've actually got of your opponent, and if you're way ahead in army now or not. I mean, the numbers tell us that it's only 100 to 94, so it might be rather risky to just get something up like that. Okay, Midas just trying to get something in once more, sneaks away with her DTs for now. Poizon has a cannon here. One cannon might actually not be enough to stop 2 Dark Templars that also have 3 2 upgrades, so no. These Dark Templars should be able to take out that one cannon before it can actually maybe even kill one of those. So if Poizon actually moves out, these 2 Dark Templars could be pretty problematic for her. Midas going into carriers once more. Mothership core already morphing into a mothership for Poizon here. We have another engagement on the map, and it seems if Poizon might this time around... Okay, there's the rest of the army, so never mind. But where are the disruptors? Where are the disruptors and where are the disruptor shots? There they come in. It's even difficult to see, and bam, bam, bam! 3 Purification Novas just annihilate a lot of army of Midas here. Midas just warping in a lot of Zealots though, and these Zealots just close the distance like crazy. 3-2 Zealots here just ripping apart everything that's on the ground for Poizon. Like I said before in the other game, Disruptors are pretty useless once you don't have any meat to protect them, and it seems as if Poizon has just lost all of her army. Midas breaking through, another Disruptor shot unfortunately hits nothing. We have the 2 Dark Templars from the beginning also joining the fray. The 1 photon cannon providing some vision at least, but it seems as if Midas has just broken Poizon here. Poizon just trying to reinforce her army once more. She still has the mothership. She will probably lose that 4th base over here, and there it goes down. So now she's mostly on a timer. Her opponent has already taken a 5th one. Poizon needs to deal some damage of some sort while retaking that base over here. She can't just sit back and play catch up. Her opponent will eventually outproduce her. So wow, that engagement really, these Zealots, these like a whopping of 8 to 9 Zealots really changed everything in that game, closing into the rest of the units and ripping them apart like crazy. So that was really nicely done. And now a lot of Stalkers. I mean, the army supply is now 86 to 51. We have a lot of high-tech units in, well, not a lot of, but we have some high-tech units. We have carriers, we have Colossi, we have Archons inside the mix, and also a lot of Stalkers. Well, the only thing that Poizon has right now are some Void Rays. The Mothership core might be helpful to some extent, but I mean, the Stalkers should just be able to blink underneath it and kill it off before it can really provide that much help. Yeah, the Stalkers might get, a lot of Stalkers might fall doing this to these Zealots. We'll see how the fight will eventually turn out. Poizon is now producing 4 carries at once. If Midas actually gives her opponent too much time, she might suffer from what she did to Poizon earlier on Cactus Valley, where she had the 11 carriers and her opponent had only 5. But this time around we might see different numbers. So let's see, getting the air weapons upgrade. So again, her air forces will be quite more efficient than those of her opponent, and she still has the resources to get this back up. Even now takes a 5th base earlier than her opponent, taking some risks. I like it. Seems as if no, Midas just wants to check everything over to the right hand side. Yeah, okay, we have one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases also for Midas as well. Poizon's still behind in the overall supply, but I think she's catching up in numbers. So Midas only has 2 carriers, Poizon has 2 right here. Unfortunately leaves them alone. Oh, there comes the rest of the forces, but Poizon should see that right now. So let's see, where are the rest of the carriers? I think she needs to wait for the carriers. I think she cannot really fight this engagement right now. She really wants to wait for more carriers to arrive before she can actually fight against this army. But maybe she won't be able to. I mean, Midas is already setting up everything, getting proxy pylons. Also, I mean, there's no photon overcharge available, there's no mothership core here. But still, for warpins, also for playing with the AI of some units when units just start attacking the pylons rather than the army first. Maybe wasting their first attack on a pylon rather than the army, so that can always help out. But yeah, also for warpins as well. Even if they are slow warpins, it doesn't really matter that much. So Midas is maxed out. Poizon's still waiting a little bit. In the meantime, the 3rd carrier for Midas has arrived. We have some attack over to the left-hand side, but it gets driven away by these zealots. Nice little move there by Midas though, trying to make some more happen. We have now 4 carriers for Poizon. But yeah, I mean, the overall supply is still a little bit weak. The upgrades might make the difference. Like I said, we will have 2-0 done for the carriers in just a few seconds. Ooh, Midas even expanding towards that forward position. Wow, ballsy move here. She's really something here, really thinking that she might be in such a big advantage that she can just take a base right in the face of her opponent. I mean, the other base is not very far away. Those pylons, I mean, look at that. This is almost like World War I, where we just have that small little trench line over here and the other one over here, and then artillery is just shooting from one part to the other, very close together. Another harassment attack there by Midas will now be able to take out that Protoss photon cannon in no time, and the other one probably as well, and then there will be no more detection over to the left hand side. Probably just wants to force most of Poizon's army out of position to attack through this lane. We'll see how everything works out. I mean, she now should know that her opponent, yeah, like I said, just lured her opponent over to the left-hand side to get her out of position. Now, Poizon just has to get back into position. Maybe not all of the units will get back into position in time. Now we have the big carrier war. Some of Midas's units blinking over to the right-hand side, but it seems as if Poizon's carrier power is just overwhelming, and Midastouch needs to retreat for now, waiting for more carriers to arrive. 2 more in production. For Poizon, there's no more production of carriers, so it seems as if this time around, like we said before, she just pays back and takes revenge for that game of Cactus Valley, taking out the 5th base over here. So nice little move there by Poizon, just moving forwards a little bit, might just now go into the 4th as well. Has to be careful not to overcommit, but it seems as if Midas actually wants to abandon that base down here. I mean, it's almost empty anyways. But of course, there are 2 important structures. We have Stargate standing over here, producing carriers. Don't know if she really wants to lose them. Trying to retake the 5th over here. But more carriers incoming. Well, and this time around it's only Midas, and Poizon now tries to change it up a little bit. Tries to transition into some Tempests as well. And maybe she should actually just also get an Oracle then, because if you have Tempest, you just want to have Vision. Oh, big attack over to the right-hand side once more. We have the carrier against carrier wars. Also a lot of storms raining down on Midas's army, but it seems, I don't know if she will actually be able to get through. The mothership core falls, so now the carriers are all alone. We still have some carriers left, more carriers reinforcing. The Stalkers in the meantime just focus firing down all of the carriers, and it seems as if Poizon might have overextended. All of Poizon's army dies. She's just lost all of her carriers. Great little micro there by Midas here, just surrounding all of these carriers, taking them out. Has not let the AI of the interceptors freak these Stalkers out, but rather shooting them down in focus fire, and Midas takes the 4th map for a 3-1 win.